Hello and welcome to this video. So it's a random Thursday at the end of July and I have the day off because I needed to take some annual leave. So Pete and Eloise have headed off to nursery, as you've seen, and me and Jeff are going to hang out for the day. So I did also have one of these days in June and I tried to do this kind of video then as well, but I completely scrapped it because I didn't really have a plan and it ended up being sort of a waste of a day, or at least a waste of an afternoon, and it would have been incredibly dull for you. But today I have got a list of things that I'd like to get done. It's far too long, it's not going to all get done today, but it will give me options of things I want to do. And I thought I'd bring you along again. The noise you can hear is the washing machine because I'm getting Jeff's bits and bobs washed while the weather's nice and I can get it on the line today. So yeah, that is the plan. So the reason why I've got random days off that Pete doesn't is because I think I get a bit more leave than him anyway with my job. But obviously I returned from maternity leave officially, properly at the beginning of January, and my work runs on an academic year because I work at university. So our leave year ends at the end of August and I have an awful lot of leave to take. In fact, I'm sort of liaising with my manager about carrying some stuff over, but that may or may not happen, which is frustrating because obviously starting in January, I've already missed 4 months of leave, which I accrued whilst being on maternity leave. Plus I already had additional days from the previous year that I was carrying forward because I obviously wasn't going to be able to use them because I went off in January. And I used up as much as I could basically to be off in January, but there were still a few weeks, I think 2 weeks, that I was carrying over, plus the bank holidays that I got during maternity leave. Basically I just have a lot and no time to use it in, and I also only work 3 days, so I have a sort of mental block in my head where it's like, well, I have 2 days off anyway, so I'm not going to take the days off, I'll just make it work in the days that I already have. So that's where we are, and that's why I've got this random day. The last month, 5 weeks, have been very busy. If you've seen like my July scrapbooky wrap-up thing that I posted a couple of weeks ago, you'll have seen that. So I'm feeling pretty, I don't want to say burnt out because that seems too extreme, but we're heading in that direction. So in theory today is supposed to be a relax and recharge day, but having sort of did that in June and it didn't really work for me, I've got all sorts of things that I want to get done. So there's stuff that I enjoy though, so I want to bake a cake. I haven't baked a cake in ages. So Pete found a recipe that he wants me to do, so I'm going to do that today. I do have a bit of cleaning to do because we didn't quite finish that at the weekend, and I probably should get that done. He's also not here this evening, so I've got to go and get Eloise from nursery at some point, so that's a hefty walk to do as well. And I'm going to go and take Jeff for a walk in the woods now. So I'm definitely going to get my steps in today. That's not going to be an issue. The issue will be, will I overdo myself, which is highly likely, but hey, we're going to roll with it. So come along, hopefully I don't scrap this one and you actually see what I'm filming, because hopefully it's a bit more interesting than June where I just sat around going, I don't know what to do with myself. I feel like I've wasted today, which I'm not going to do today. So yeah, come along, let's see what happens on my random Thursday off work. So it's now just before 11. I'm back from my walk with Jeff. Got the washing out on the line, so that's something I can tick off. And now I'm going to make a cake that Pete has requested, which is a chocolate orange cake. So I'm gonna do that. Apparently it takes 40 minutes to prep, so I guess that's me till lunch now. But it also says it's an easy recipe, so we shall see. But let's hope I've got everything, because I can't be bothered for this to take too long. But yeah, right, let's make this cake. Me again. This recipe starts with the strange first step of pierce the orange with a skewer and then cook in boiling water for 30 minutes and then whiz it in a food processor. I wasn't expecting that, so it looks like I've got 30 minutes while this does stuff in water to hang out with. I suppose I better get the kettle going then for my boiling water. Who knew? Strange. I've gone up to get her bun, but I've changed my mind again. I'm just gonna make a normal cake. I'll just squeeze the orange into it. I think I've got some orange extract as well, so we're gonna do it that way, because I don't really want peel in my cake. I don't really like peel in a cake. So decided to wing it slightly. And I'm gonna just make the cake as normal and then just add in the juice and see how we are with that. So now I am definitely can actually start making this cake. So the cakes are at the oven. They got a bit caught, so they're a little bit burnt, but I'm sure they'll be fine. I've made my ganache to go on the top. I might just put a little bit of orange in that. But that needs to set aside to firm up so I can then spread it on the cake. So for the time being, the cakes are done. That did take longer than I expected, but hey. It's 1:45, so I'm going to put on some pasta, and I've got a leftover spag bowl to eat for my dinner. So I feel it's going to be easier to eat dinner now and then have a sandwich once Eloise has gone to bed, and then I'm not going to be like absolutely starving and all of that kind of stuff while I'm sorting her out. So yeah, I'm going to have my dinner now. I think I might start the 3rd series of Bridgerton while I eat, because I've just finished Colin's book for Bridgerton, so I want to see how they've done that, and I deliberately not watched that series until I'd read the book, so I think I might do that while I eat, and then we'll see where we get up to after that. I still haven't hoovered, so I probably need to do that, but we'll get there, But yeah, pasta, lunch, well pasta, and then eat and probably Bridgerton. Right, I enjoyed the episode of Bridgerton. Already with the first episode, it's entirely different to the book, but there we go. But I thought we'd do a bit of to-do list assessment to see where we are, take some stuff off, all of that kind of thing. So you ready? So I have pretty much made a cake. The icing isn't quite ready enough. This was Eloise's drawing, by the way. She had good fun with that. Yeah, I've done nothing. I've washed Jeff's stuff in the doormat, so we can take that off. I've also put that back on the bed. I've uploaded my video. That was the July one if you haven't seen it. But I haven't done anything else with it. So that's all we're going to do. I think I'm going to go and pack this Vinted order now. So that's ready, so that when I go and pick her up from nursery, I can take that with me. So I think that's my next port of call. And then we'll go from there. So it turns out this person's basically bought all the books that I have on Vinted, bar 2. So it's quite a big box that I'm going to have to try and carry down to the impost locker. Hopefully there is space. I'll have to check that before I leave. But yeah, it's a big old box, but I don't have any labels to take off it, which is helpful. I originally thought it was only about 5 books, so I was trying to fit it in this and then realised that was not gonna happen, so we've had to go bigger. But yeah, That's all those. So I need to tape this up and then that's ready. So that's another half job done. I seem to be doing lots of half jobs at the moment. And then work out what we're going to do next. I did want to sit and read for a little bit, but I guess that might be a tonight thing. What should we do next? I need to hoover, but I really can't be bothered to do that now because I know I've got this walk to nursery, which takes a good half hour. So it's probably going to take me about an hour and 10 minutes round trip, and half of that is going to be carrying an almost 18-month-old, and I've already done 8,500 steps today. So what I think I might do is take the next 2 hours and do things on my computer where I can sit down, so I can build up some stamina, and then the dusting and the hoovering and that I can do tomorrow when she's napping. Yeah, I think that's going to be a better idea, because I don't think it's going to be a very good idea for me to wear myself out before that walk. I know this sounds really stupid, but the point of today was also to relax, and I don't think I'll manage that if I then do that. So yeah, let's think about that now. There's a few things I want to do on my computer, like I really want to go on another holiday, so I sort of need to come up with some itineraries to like propose to Pete and see if he agrees to any of them. My brother's coming up at the weekend, so I need to think about what we can do with him and where we can go. I saw an article that it's like 6 months to book a driving test, so I might have a look at the dates for that, because I don't want to leave it too long and then it be too late for me to get one, because it's a lot of money driving. I'm sure I told you I was taking driving lessons. Well, you saw I did my driving theory test. They seem to be going okay. I wouldn't say I'm anywhere near test level yet, but if it's 6 months, you'd hope I would be by then, because I'm automatic. My lessons are automatic. Where's my voice gone? My lessons are automatic, so I'd hope by then I'd be in a position. So I might look at that. I mentioned somewhere that I've got a week off in August, so I'd like to have haircuts, so I might try and book that in. So those kind of things that are on the to-do list that I can just sit on my computer and do, I think I might try and get done now before icing a cake and then going to get her from nursery. So yeah, let's do that. Baby, you're tired. Time to walk home. Did you have a nice day at nursery? Yeah? You're getting a bit big for this sling, aren't you? Yeah, get you home. Milk and bed. So it is almost 7:30 in the evening now, and as you've seen, I've collected Eloise from nursery. We've done the whole bedtime thing, so she's just getting herself to sleep, hopefully. But man, that walk is long. I have done, I don't know, I need to charge my Fitbit. So since I last spoke to you, I didn't do anything that I said I was going to do in the end, because I was upstairs by the books. I filmed my July book reviews, so I will link that up here because it probably came out before this one. So I filmed that, and then I came down, sorted out my cake, which is in that red pot. I'm not convinced about it, but then when am I ever? I think it might be a bit dry. And I had a load of like chocolate ganache left, so I made that into a hot chocolate. The joys of advertising made that very easy, which is good. And then I read until I had to go and pick her up. I also didn't take my parcel down to InPost as I intended, because A, that box is pretty big, and B, the closest one didn't have any lockers that would fit it in. So either I'll do it on Saturday, or I could walk down there with her tomorrow, or I'll get Pete to do it tomorrow. But in the next couple of days it will go. So I feel like I've done lots of sort of half jobs. But now, while she's sorting herself out, hopefully she doesn't pull the camera down again, because that seems to be her new fun game. And it's not an amount, it just balances on her bed, so if she does that we can't see anything. But I've been listening to a lot of stuff today, but it's been the Parenting Hell podcast basically all day. I've just been catching up with that, now up to date. So I think I'm going to stick in my audio book, which is an ARC, so an advanced reader copy that I got from NetGalley, called The Dead Husband's Cookbook. I'm about 20% in and I'm not hooked. And for a thriller, I feel I should be hooked by now. But I'm going to stick that in while I feed Jeff, get him in the garden, because obviously I can't take him for a walk, so he's got to wait till Pete comes home. I ran the dishwasher, so I've got to empty that and then put this stuff in. Wash her bottles. And then I'm going to make myself a sandwich and then settle down for the evening. Probably watch another episode of Bridgerton and read my book. So if I don't see you, so that's my plan. But I will, knowing me, forget to close this video and do it at a later date. But the plan is to bring you along for some of it. So let's get this headphone in and listen to some of this audiobook. So I was in fact correct, and I did forget to film anything else. So there we go. In the end that day I ended up doing about 16,000 steps, so wasn't quite the slow-paced, relaxing day that maybe I had thought, but it was also pretty productive. Although, as I said, I did sort of just do lots of half jobs, which over the last week or so, because I'm coming in to edit this about a week after my day off, I've been doing the other halves basically. So the list that I originally had is nearly complete, which is good, because I've also had some time off as well this week. I told you I've had a lot of leave to try and cover. But yeah, it was a good day in the end. I feel like I got a lot done, which is always a nice thing for me. I still am struggling with the idea that leave can just be to potter around the house and that you don't have to have a plan, like a thing that you're doing or going to. I'm still finding that quite difficult to get my brain around, but we're getting there. And as I say, did get quite a bit done on that day, which was good. But yeah, if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!